Hello, dear social community. I am Albert Kirzinger, Chief Designer of Volkswagen Commercial Vehicles, and I am here today because you have asked so many questions about the new Transporter. Yes, I would say, let's get started right away.
First question, why does the Ford have a Volkswagen logo?
That is a tricky question. To be honest, I don't understand it at all. We designed this vehicle totally from the scratch. This is the new Transporter and it really follows a true Volkswagen Bulli DNA. 75 years of history. We designed the basic shape. We divided it into a logical proportion. And what makes a real Transporter in terms of styling? For example, it's this continuous bully line that wraps around the entire body. And on this bully line, just like all its predecessors and our current vehicles, the face is naturally attached. And you can see that in every detail we have not only designed the vehicle from scratch, but also all the details.
Why did you decide not to use the VW DNA? It's been lost. What a shame.
I think this clearly targets a technical basis we were looking for in a partnership, one that aligns with our strategic goals and long-term roadmap. No, the technical basis does not erase Volkswagen's DNA. On the contrary, I am firmly of a different opinion. It definitely makes sense in these times to share certain components together, but the DNA is created through a genuine Volkswagen commercial vehicles design. What do I mean by that? The support of the A-pillar on the wheel center, the clear relationship between the windshield and the front really creates a compact feeling. And you can also see how this bully line, wraps around the vehicle, that it is like cohesive, very, very compact with an emphasis on the body, dividing these proportions with a lot of sleekness and also a very, very wide face over the two eyes, over the headlights. But also that this vehicle naturally has a small footprint while maximizing space. That is the basic concept outlined in the specifications, and it can indeed be combined with shared technical components. And then we designed this vehicle together according to the Volkswagen DNA. And that means we respect everything good that has emerged in these 75 years and make it a better product with the new generation, with the new Transporter. Next question, why didn't the car get the typical current VW front? That is easy to answer. Naturally, as a designer, I always reinterpret this face. It got the new face, which I can integrate one-to-one into the logic of Volkswagen and Volkswagen commercial vehicles. Typical for a Volkswagen commercial vehicle's face is, first of all, this width orientation. You can see it in the lines that connect the eyes and are designed here with a lot of glossiness. Yes, certainly without this black band, but instead very new, recognizable from afar in its clarity and architecture.
So on one hand familiar, on the other hand new.
But truly VW. Next question, why does it have to be so rectangular again? It used to look better.
This perfect cube, this perfectly maximized space is still, wrapped in an extremely aerodynamic shape. You can really see that here. We have a very, very long extension of the bully line to the widest point of the vehicle, and then it kind of flows into this compact front.
I believe if you look at the quotes, the design quotes from the 75 years, you will find much from the previous generations in this vehicle. This line is known from the T5. It makes for a very, very compact, very, very robust front. If you take a quick look at the rear, we also have a sharp trailing edge at the rear. However, we have designed it quite smoothly within the overall contour of the vehicle. Yes, it's a square. Why is that? Because we have achieved top benchmark aerodynamics. That helps our fleet customers and our users with great fuel consumption. CW times A is the keyword.
Why doesn't the Transporter look as cool as it used to?
The Transporter is a new answer at the exactly right time. Of course, it changes its appearance, but this appearance will extend and lead into the future. it kind of breaks with certain viewing habits, but it's actually even more consistently designed than its predecessors. It's, precise in every detail, and it's like space optimized in every detail. It is more functional. It sets the new standard in its class, and you just have to experience how this vehicle will perform in everyday use. And that is really nice. So, new question. I like your radiator grille better than Ford's. The rest is a matter of taste. But tell me, who decided what looks like Ford and what comes from you? We designed this vehicle from scratch. That means we first established the DNA of the new transporter, defining its core characteristics, and then, of course, we looked within the cooperation to identify where we could create strong synergies. This means that this vehicle is fundamentally a true transporter in its basic architecture, purpose-built for utility and durability. And of course, there are specific details that each brand has to define for itself. Especially the face, which is essentially linked to the basic architecture of the new transporter, and that is truly Volkswagen. Thank you for the compliment. So, there are indeed differences compared to the Ford, where your designer is too lazy to come up with a whole new car. Ha! If you had recorded back then when we got started, we really made a completely new vehicle. And that is certainly more exhausting when you have to define it from scratch so that different derivatives can emerge, so that different brands can emerge. So, it really was hard work for the designers to define the new transporter, not only in terms of its purpose, but also in its overall design, so that we could genuinely find a common basis, that we preserved the DNA with perfect features, with perfect individual designing requirements that only this new transporter can fulfill. And, there isn't just a single brand here, rather there are now essentially two fundamentally newly designed vehicles out there, each with its own character, while of course sharing some components underneath. Thank you, thanks for watching, and have fun with the new transporter.